face. Hello.
Hi, everyone. How are you guys doing today?
They're like, what the hell is she doing over Lynna's house?
I might be over your house.
Oh, that's true too. They don't know. We had a mass murder and we had to bury bodies. We needed some muscle.
Yeah.
You think they believe that?
They know you got a machete and I live by the ocean.
I got a chainsaw too.
Yeah, we cut up the body and throw it in the bay.
Yeah, but it's going to float back.
Shark bait. Fish food.
I don't trust sharks. Where did it go? They're not even big sharks. They little bitty sharks. Shoot. They be out there nipping on people's feet.
Mm-hmm.
What's going on? We got Tanya, Angela, Stephanie. Oh, the Hotero, Laverne. Hello. What's up? We're doing good. I'm doing good. Lynna actually invited me to my first Passover meal yesterday evening, and it was actually a really beautiful experience. It was completely different. She's converting to Judaism, and she's been studying, so she's been doing a whole lot, which brings us to the topic that we want to discuss, this conjure crew. Lynna, I'm gonna let you go ahead and because you brought it up this morning. So what is the topic?
Well, okay, so I'm gonna tell them the whole story. And so Tanya posted this beautiful picture, and someone made a comment.
My asshole brother.
Well, I wasn't gonna say any names.
I can call him an asshole.
But they commented, "Run, girl." And all I did was I ordered a bunch of food for Passover dinner and for Seder, and I had more food than we could eat. So I was like, "Hey, Tanya, you want to come over and help us eat some food?"
But I think the most important thing, because it wasn't, don't just make it seem like I was your +1 for an extra plate.
Well, yeah.
This is the bestie. This is a good friend. So here's the thing. When you have people in your life that are going through major transitions, especially when it's spiritual, even religious, as a friend, whether you understand that tradition, whether you agree with the tradition, you support the person because it is a major milestone. There's a lot of things that go with studying, with preparing yourself, with learning traditions, regardless of what tradition you go into. There's a lot. So when you don't support people, and you have your opinion, I have no idea. I don't study Judaism. I have a very broad understanding of it. It's not my path, but I know it's your path right now, or your path, your path, period.
Yeah, and the food was good.
And the food was really, really good. So it was good. But I think you support people.
But I think it's more than that. It's not just about when people are starting on a new path or this, that, and the other. But what it made me think of was, as a community, and they said it best on that movie.
Oh, yeah, with the tree.
It said, yeah, do you believe God made trees? Well, yeah, he made trees. Well, if everything that God makes is perfect, then why didn't he make one beautiful tree for the whole world to enjoy? Instead, he created the spruce, the pine, the elm, the redwood, all these different trees. Just like with all these different religions and paths that we have, whatever path a particular person is following is that path that's for them. And if you're not in that path, you still should honor and respect that person for who they are. Whether you agree with the path or not, that's not for you to decide what their path should be.
It's true. And y'all have heard me say this before a few times. When I came back from Haiti after my initiation, I had like 40-something people unfriend me on Facebook. And it was simply because the word voodoo was used in a post that I made. Now, my real friends, the people that know me, that spend time with me, know who I am, know I haven't changed. I don't think I came back bleeding purple blood or speaking.
It was yellow, wasn't it?
Was it yellow? I couldn't remember what it was. But it was one of those things where she never questioned me on that journey. It was, she never said, "What are you doing?" Because that tradition, that journey was completely different than even things that you had done in her life. And I think I was very fortunate to have a lot of people that even though they didn't understand what my journey was, they were like, oh, okay, we're going to cheer you on. We're going to support you. I had people that actually even gave me donations to help me with my initiation. So I think sometimes people get stuck in, what is
self-righteous is what I would call it. Everybody thinks their way is the one and only way to be, and that may be the one and only way for them, but that doesn't mean it's the one and only way for everybody else.
Well, it's a form of bigotry too.
Well, you think,
to me, it's just,
what was I saying this morning? No matter what religion or path you follow, it seems like in every one that we're all striving to be a better person and make the world a better place in our own way. Well, how is bashing someone else making it better?
It doesn't. I think people don't realize, though, that religious, spiritual journeys, whether it's a spiritual journey or a religious journey, is personal.
Mm-hmm.
It's for an individual. You're, like you said it, you're seeking something that makes you better, whether it's even a darker path.
Yeah.
If you want to follow a darker path and you want to be the baddest, badass, dark magician, that's a personal journey.
Yeah. Because but they're making themselves the best, baddest ass.
Exactly. So I think that a lot of people sometimes, they get stuck in their opinions. And the way that we're conditioned. I grew up in the Catholic Church. A lot of people don't know. I literally went to Catholic school my whole life.
Yeah.
And
look at who was sitting at the table last night. You got a Jew, a voodoo priestess, a Catholic, and an agnostic.
Exactly.
And the dinner was good.
But I think a lot of times, too, even in that religion, we acknowledged other religions. It wasn't that Catholicism was the only. Thank God. I mean, we had forward-minded people back then. But you have some people that are conditioned. They grow up in households where they don't have a choice. You got 50-year-old men and women that are still doing what their parents want them to do. I don't want you to practice this. I don't feel comfortable with this. And I'm like, what the fuck? Who was it? It was Elizabeth Ruth had a post. I think it was it last year or the year before? And she was like, I'm 60 years old and I'm just now coming out of the closet as a witch. And I think it was because a family member died. So it was at that point where she felt like, now I can come out and say who I am because this person is not going to object. Well, they could still be turning over in the grave, right?
Yeah. Ancestors.
Yeah. It's not like they don't know. But I think some people are, and Lisa said, she was talking about this the other day, I think some people get really caught up in programming.
Mm-hmm. Their way's the only way, and that's the way it has to be. Mm-hmm. And that's cool for you. My way is the way that it's supposed to be, but that's for me. And your way is the way it's supposed to be, and that's for you. They don't have to be the same. Because like I was saying, God made the trees, but he made all different kinds of trees.
Well, we're different people.
So there's different religions and different traditions out there, for everybody.
Well, here's the thing. I raised my kids to be free thinkers, which means that I raised them to make decisions based on what they want. Jasmine is agnostic. Jordan is an atheist. And here I am, a voodoo priestess. Mm-hmm. Now, I don't know what their spiritual journey is going to look like, but that's none of my business.
Right.
I raised them to be free thinkers. I didn't raise them to follow my way. I don't want, if Jazz decided today, after she gets this college degree, that she wants to be a stripper, I might not be
happy about it.
I might not be 100% happy about it, but I guarantee you I'll be in there
helping her pick out what boots to wear.
I'm going to support because I raised her to be a free thinker. So I can't come back and say, oh, now just because you don't think like I do, that I'm going to stop loving you. I'm going to stop supporting you. Hell no. I'm going to help her buy the stripper shoes and I'm going to be in there with my money. But I think a lot of times,
well, like you asked Taylor last night, you asked her, are you going to convert? And she said, I'm just along for the ride.
Yeah.
Taylor's going to do her thing.
And Taylor's how old?
15.
Yeah. So she's still, I mean, I think a lot of times some people don't even understand what their journey is until they get in their 30s and 40s. Some people try, that's why you have people that are in 15 different traditions because they're looking.
Oh, all at the same time.
Yeah, because I don't know how the shit they do that. Because man, one tradition is enough. I mean, especially when you got spirits and altars. I mean, goddamn, if voodoo, my altars keep growing, I'm like, what? I can't fucking do anything else. I don't have no time.
You're gonna have to hit the lotto just so you
Girl,
can have.
I don't have no time. I can't go into Ifa. I can't go into Palo. I can't do no other shit because voodoo is taking up every goddamn thing I have. But I think the thing about it is when you see people that do that, and I'm not even speaking against anyone that does it because that's part of your journey.
That's their path.
Exactly. People, it's almost like dating. You have these people that go on all these dating sites and they're, going out, meeting multiple people because they're trying to figure out what the fit is, what is right for them. But when it comes to what you want to do, if you're over 18 and you're paying your own bills, you do whatever the fuck you want to do. Be whoever you want to be. There should be some part in there where spirit does take over, where the ancestors call you and say, look, this is where we want you to go.
Yeah.
You have free will if you want to walk in that direction.
And you should honor and respect that person for who they are as a person. I might only want to date guys with brown hair and blue eyes. Okay, that's my type. That's so sexy to me.
It is her type.
But
I think she needs some Latino spiciness thrown in there, but we'll talk about that later.
Hey, he probably had brown hair. Does he have blue eyes? Because some Latinos have blue
eyes.
Some
do. Yeah. Some do. You're right. I stand corrected. All right.
We can do that. But what I'm saying is, okay, so you got blonde hair, blue eye guys, and they're 6 foot tall. One of them is a landscaper. One works at a corporation, and the other's a mass murderer. I'm not going to date the mass murderer.
Well,
I'm probably not going to date the one at the corporation either because it's not my type. Mm-hmm. But they all have the brown hair, blue eyes, just like all religions. But there's differences.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
They're all the same, but they're different.
Well, kind of on what Angela is saying. Our religions actually are tied into each other, and it's true. There's a universal God in every religion. There's a higher power. And
Great Spirit, Yahweh,
whatever name Allah. You call this power, even in Wicca.
Mm-hmm. So Great Spirit.
Yeah. So in Voodoo, there is a universal God, whether you want to give it the title of God. So Angela is absolutely right. I think that's where people kind of get lost, though. Why would I debate a religion or spirituality with you when literally the final goal is to get closer?
Your God is better than my God. Well,
it's the same fucking God.
Exactly.
But it's true. Hey, Jazz. I think a lot of people, because maybe they grow up more structured. Because I remember going to some Catholic schools where, the nuns were very strict about what was taught and what we could talk about. And then fast forward, what was it? Was it about 10 years ago when the Pope finally accepted Voodoo as a religion?
Well, was it because of Pope Francis when Pope Francis came in, or it took getting a whole new Pope?
It did take getting a whole new Pope, but he literally said, "We're going to acknowledge this as a religion now.
Mm-hmm. We're not going to." I think that was Pope Francis. Because that was about the time
I think it was too.
Was that about 10 years ago?
Mm-hmm. Because I think it was about 10 years ago. So you're right. So it was like somebody was saying, and when you honestly, and like Angela's right, when you study religion, there's so many secret sects. There's so many things that go on behind closed doors that they don't acknowledge publicly. There's so much mysticism in religions that they don't acknowledge publicly. There's, spell work. It's just amazing. We were talking about Moses.
Yeah. The greatest conjure man ever lived.
The Passover, they talked about Moses and the Exodus from Egypt. Him, the plagues, parting the sea. Everything that and I love the story of Moses. I absolutely, because Moses to me was a badass witch. He was a sorcerer.
The greatest conjure man ever lived.
He was the greatest conjure man that ever lived. And he was doing it in the name of God. God gave him that power. Do you remember when he put the staff up there and the lightning struck? Moses was badass, y'all. He was bad. Me and him, we'd be homeboy and homegirl if I was back there in that time. But it was the whole idea that when you talk to people biblically, and maybe you can even talk about this with the way that Jews look at it, because biblically, when I look at Moses and I talk to friends that have issues with conjure and root work and all that stuff like that, my go-to is, oh my God, Moses, Jesus. But I know in Judaism, they don't.
Well, there's Kabbalah is part of
The Kabbalah is, and I have studied some Kabbalah. But it was one of those things where how do you people don't, they justify what we do as bad because as root workers that happen to be involved in other religions, there are some people that look at it and say, well, no, that's sorcery. But there's so much in the book, the Torah, that is mysticism. There's so much in the Bible that is mysticism.
I can't answer what they think about it because I'm still studying. I don't know.
Yeah, it's interesting though. Let's see, so much mysticism, Kabbalah and Judah. Yes, and Islam too.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, Donovan. I think what people sometimes, I was always, even in the Catholic Church, I always look for the story behind the story.
Mm-hmm.
And the priest would be like, no, stop here. So you're going to tell me,
why?
Yeah, you're going to read the Bible passage up to here. What else happened? How did that happen? How did this come about? Why were they sacrificing animals? Why were they taking firstborns? And he was like, no. Let's stop here. And I was like, no. Let me research. Let me look at other religions and see where it picks back up.
That's one of the things I really like about Judaism is because we do ask why.
Well, you
why
should.
Why did they do this? How did they do this?
If you
like
study
I was telling
anything,
you about the kosher and the how they slaughtered the animals.
Yeah.
There's a certain way they do it. Why did they do it that way? And it gets real deep and interesting.
I think any time that you go into any religion or tradition, that you should turn it inside out. You should. You need to know exactly what you're working with. What are the capabilities? Because sometimes we get mentors that only go so far. And so they can only take you that far.
Mm-hmm.
And there's so much more that is, still left to learn. So I always tell people, do your own research. I don't know what your path is, but I did read up on Passover before I came over here because I needed to know how to act, how to dress, what was the proper things to do. And it was like basically just show up and follow the ceremony, which is what I did.
Yeah, we had probably 80 people in our house last night.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was a big crowd. It was a big crowd. It was amazing because they did it on Zoom. And they linked this whole, would you call it a congregation?
Mm-hmm.
They linked the whole congregation together and everybody went through the ceremony.
Yeah,
they even had me in here singing in Hebrew.
Laptops, sitting up and everybody was sitting around their table. So we all had Passover together.
So what do you guys think? Because my brother, stepbrother, if he's seeing this, because I can't even claim you as full blood because you insulted a friend. And I don't play that. I don't like that. I can understand people having differences and having opinions about things. Don't do that shit on my page because I don't have any of those hang-ups. We all about free love over here. It's just, I don't insult people like that. I don't care what your sexual orientation is, what your spiritual or religious beliefs are. It shouldn't be about that. But the way, and I know what he was referencing, he saw the picture of me sitting at the table with the plates and the teacups and everything. And he was trying to reference that movie Get Out. And I was having to explain this to Lynna because she didn't even know what the movie was about. But it was about white people taking on black people's characteristics. They were taking the organs, they were taking the brain to make them stronger, smarter, more powerful. So my brother-in-law thought he was stepbrother. I got to get it right. I don't even know what I want to call him right now.
But apparently the white people were asking the black people over for dinner and drugging them.
With the tea thing.
Yeah.
And so he was telling me, run because so it was offensive in two ways to me. First, because he was using that as a reference to a very special milestone for you, and then he was being racist.
Mm-hmm.
And if you see me at a friend's house, common sense should tell you that we are friends, right?
Yeah, I mean, I actually gave her my address.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. But it was really offensive to me. And in 2021, I try not to even include people like that in my circle. So it was really surprising that it happened to be from family. Have you guys encountered that?
Well, you know you have, but I mean, you know they have. Everybody hasn't. I'm pretty sure every one of us has at some point been talked down to for what we believe in, whatever we believe in. So what are some of you guys' stories?
Yeah, experiences. Because I feel like at this point, change starts with each individual.
With religion, race, or gender, or whatever. I mean, it's just not right.
Well, I think too, you as a person, that speaks to your character. If you're okay with people being racist around you and saying things that you don't agree with and you don't check them, you're agreeing with it.
You were saying too, you were telling me a story about a man who was mad because you posted something about a gay friend or a gay meme.
I supported gay pride, and a friend of mine was putting pictures up with gay pride, and I've gone to gay pride. I've smacked booties at gay pride. I've done all kind of shit at gay pride. But am I gay? No. But I had a fucking awesome time.
You slept with a woman last night.
I sleep with women all the fucking time. I mean, it is what it is. Shit, I might have snuggled with you last night. I don't even remember. But the whole thing about it was...
No, you were trying to get out even in your dream.
Oh, that's right. I was too busy astral traveling last night. But I posted it on my Facebook page, and a client that had been a client of mine for like a massage client had been a client of mine for like 7 years. And he chose to attack my friend because of his sexuality. And I don't know why the fuck he thought that was going to fly on my page, because that's not who I am. He said something
on your post and then turned around.
And then it turned around and attacked my friend privately. And I was like, oh, hell no, you got to go. You got to go. We don't do that around here. That's not... I didn't raise my kids to be like that. I wasn't raised to be like that. I can understand having biases for people that you don't like because they treat you a certain way.
His own child.
Well, that's why he was mad, because his own son ended up being gay.
And he said that he had already come to terms with that.
But yet
he was still bashing people.
If he had come to terms with it, he wouldn't have felt the need to be offensive to somebody who was gay. He still had anger. But you have a lot of people that grow up in very religious, spiritually structured. I almost want to say suffocating, because we all know somebody who has grown up in, a household where they're like I say, 60 years old, and they still, they're still towing the line out of respect. But how much of that is respect? How much of that is fear? And how much of it is bigotry?
Right.
Let's see.
I think people are afraid of what they don't know.
I mean, I guess. I don't know. I don't have that. I honestly can't say that I've ever gone somewhere.
Well, like people unfriended you because of voodoo, because they don't know what voodoo is.
Yeah.
It's not an ugly, bloody chicken child sacrificing thing.
It's not, but I think I took the time to research before I took that journey. And I think if you called yourself my friend,
other people didn't understand. So other people were afraid of what they didn't understand.
But if they knew me, if they called themselves my friend, then they would trust.
Yeah,
that
trust has a lot to do with it.
And I think so too. And then if you went in doubt, research. I didn't know what a Passover was for you. I know Catholicism would pass over.
They put the blood on the doors so the angel of death pass over. But it was also passing over, the Red Sea to escape from enslavement.
So I researched before I came here, because I wanted to know if I was going to be a sacrifice. I had to know this stuff. And if I was going to be...
we needed a bone to put on the
Well, it wasn't going to be one of my bones. You don't want one of these old rusty, crusty things. But The whole thing about it is if I had reservations, I would have asked you before I came
Yeah.
here. And if it was something that I didn't feel comfortable with, which I will say you have every right not to feel comfortable with something
Yeah.
if it's not your thing. We're not saying just overlook it. If you're going somewhere and you do have a friend, because there are traditions and there are cults that people don't agree with. I have people that I know.
It's not that I don't agree with voodoo. I don't do voodoo. I don't know anything about it. I don't understand it. So when I've been over at your house and you're running around doing your stuff, and I said, "What's she doing?" and your daughter says she's doing service. I'm like, "Oh, okay, whatever." But
that is true, because I don't explain shit to nobody. I just go in there and start doing my stuff. I don't
help you, but at the same time, I don't bother you about it either. Let you do your thing. That's your thing. Doesn't mean I have to get involved just because I'm at your house.
That's true. But I know if I invited you to a fit, you would come.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people...
But that don't mean that I would get out there and let somebody possess me either.
Well, that's true too. And I
stand off to the side. But I'll be there for you.
I understand that. There's certain things that people would not feel comfortable with in certain traditions or religion. And you have every right to respectably decline.
Right.
I love you, but I don't want to be a part of this because I don't feel comfortable. You have every right to do that. But I think the flip side of is when you turn your back on someone or you're offensive because of what they believe in. That's a deal breaker. Yeah. That's a friendship deal breaker to me.
But back to trying to better yourself, whatever religion you're in, how are you bettering yourself by bashing other people?
Well, for some people, we have selective religion and we have selective spirituality.
Yeah, but back
if
in
it
the
works,
day,
it works.
the people in the insane asylum got shock treatment too. So just because somebody isn't in your religion doesn't mean you have to shock treat them into it. Well, you know what I'm saying? Like bang it in their head.
I think, wouldn't it be weak though to let somebody deter you from what you really want?
Mm-hmm.
I mean...
But you know what I'm saying about the people, okay, if you went around telling everybody, oh, you need to join voodoo, you need to join voodoo, you need to get initiated, you need to go to Haiti, you need to do this, you need to do that. You don't do that. But there are people who do that, not just for voodoo, but for other religions. We all have our own choice. And if I'm walking my path, please don't preach another path to me. If that's your path, great. Great for you. That's your path, though. And it's still the same God or Great Spirit, whatever you want to call it. I don't think
anybody has the right to force somebody into their belief system.
That's period. It's irritating as fuck.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that. And I think here's the thing, and I think is that Starlight, you know, with my mom, when I first told my family that I was going to Haiti, they didn't get it. They did not get it, even though voodoo, plantation voodoo is practiced or was practiced in our family. There's still some people that practice it on the down low. I'm the first Mambo to actually come and say, oh, I'm going to initiate and I'm going to get a title and I'm going to start working openly as a priestess. And my mom thought I was batshit crazy. She was really a little bit concerned about it. She didn't understand it.
Exactly.
She didn't stand in my way, though.
Afraid of what she didn't know.
She was afraid, but I think my family knows me well enough. You can't stop me when I put my mind. When I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. I don't give a shit how you think about it, how you feel about it. It's not about you. It's about me. So I went to Haiti, and she was just kind of like, when I came back, she was looking at me side-eyed because I think she thought I had grew another horn or something. I already have just two, though.
Right.
And
never mind, I won't tell them.
Are you looking at my butt as a horn? Anyway.
Sometimes it blows.
Hey, with some Bluebell ice cream, it's a guaranteed blow. And did I fart on you last night? I might have farted. We ate so much food, I might have farted all over you last night. But anyway, when I came back from Haiti, it was probably about 4 months. And we were looking at this African movie. And she never said anything to me after I came back to Haiti about voodoo, about being a Mambo or anything. It was just like, let's not even talk about it. Well, in this particular movie, she said, okay, Tonya, here comes your part. And I'm like, Mama, what are you talking about? In the movie, the voodoo priestess came in the village and shook her asan, and she was healing the people in the village. And my mama goes, that's who you are. You're the African priestess that's coming in the village to heal everybody. She had to have something to compare a mambo to in the present time. And when she found a connection, she saw me as that person. I could have told her left and right all day long, this is what I do. But until she really understood it, she was like, oh, now I'm okay with it. But before she just wasn't. Let's see, somebody wanted to know how old I was. When did I initiate? 4 years ago?
You were 50.
Yeah, I was just about to turn 50 when I initiated. And I think it was one of those things where it took me 5 years to find a mentor, to find a house. It wasn't something that was just like, oh, I woke up and I'm going to be a mambo.
It wasn't easy for you. I know it wasn't easy for you.
And to be honest, you guys, a mambo was never, ever what I aspired to be. I really just wanted to be able to work with my spirits correctly, to be able to do service correctly. It never was about a title. And I think whenever you go on a journey, spirit definitely takes you through some turns.
I don't think that when you start out on a journey that it is easy. It's often a struggle going back and forth. Should I do this? Should I not? Is this the right way? If like we were saying earlier, question everything. An
initiation is not cheap. It's one thing, because initiation is literally, there's a death, there's a spiritual death, and you're reborn. So initiation means you're not the master of anything. Basically, it means you know shit. You're coming back in as a baby, as a newborn, and you're being taught. The spirits are teaching you. Your mentor is teaching you. So getting a title of Mambo and Ugan, you don't come back, oh, I'm the big bad, whatever. You don't. It takes 7 years to make a Mambo, 7 years to make a Ugan. And that's if you have a really good mentor. The initiation, $10,000. It's you first, spirit puts you through that trial of, how you going to get this money, and even for you, what are you going to sacrifice? What are you going to give up? Can you not eat meat on this day? What do you have to drink? Like you told me, we can't do bread for 10 days?
Bread with yeast.
Bread with yeast. So, and I didn't know that prior to it, but thank God I wasn't eating bread. But now I feel like I got to do it right, or else I don't know what's going to happen.
But that's the beautiful thing. You don't have to.
But I'm going to do it.
We can still be friends and respect each other, but you don't have to, because, unless you want to. But I'm not going to push it on you. I invite you over for dinner, and I told you, you asked what to wear, and I told you, well, my rabbi wore a Grateful Dead t-shirt to the last holiday. You wear what you want to wear.
I respect religions and traditions. I do. If you invite me to go somewhere, I am in that moment with you.
Well, I'm still not going to let a spirit take over me if we go to a fit.
Well, I haven't been mounted either. Okay, I haven't been mounted either. So, but I think a lot of times, the journey is self-discovery. Like you said, I still don't know where I'm going to be. I'm still like at the beginning. I don't know where I'm going to end up.
Yeah, because we're not dogs. We don't do 7 years in one.
No.
We're still babies.
I kind of wish we did.
I'm a baby. You're a toddler.
Yeah, I am a toddler. Well, yeah, I am. In a religion, let's see.
Oh, but that means that we could throw ourselves down, have temperature if we want to. Nah.
No, it won't work. Yeah, you guys, when you look at these spiritual leaders and these people in the community, and I know some people make the shit look really easy because they don't talk about the sacrifices. They don't talk about how hard it is to find a mentor. There's a lot of bullshit people out there that take money and take money and take money, and they give you nothing.
I think one of the things she's saying that is hard to find a house and a mentor is people and this goes for all different paths in religion. People let your mentor, your pastor, your rabbi, hungan or priest or whatever interview you. You should be interviewing them.
Absolutely.
Because you're the one making the decision because it's up to you, because if you don't like them, it doesn't matter whether they invite you into their house or not.
Absolutely.
If you don't like them and you're not going to get along with them, don't go. The end decision is yours. So you need to be the one interviewing them. Ask them questions. Ask questions. And if they get offended by that,
they're not the one. And you have to take people off of pedestals. You have to take people off of pedestals. Mentors are human.
We all bleed red.
Yeah. So when you're dealing with people that do things that are inappropriate and you give them a pass because they have a title, that may come back and bite you in the ass. You have to be honest. I think a mentor-mentee relationship should be transparent. If there's something that I do that is making you uncomfortable or something that you don't like, you should be able to talk to me.
Yeah.
Because we're forming a relationship.
And I don't think it's disrespectful if you ask questions. I kind of think it would be disrespectful not to ask, because if you're serious about your path, you want to ask questions. If you have
somebody that's telling you it's disrespectful to question their leadership, they're not the person for you. A mentor should be open. They've gone through some stuff. There's some things that they should be able to share. And if they haven't gone through it, they need to be honest about that with you. It's a relationship. It's not, even if you were to come under me and say you were my godchild, I appreciate the respect, but it should be reciprocated. That doesn't mean go sit down in a corner and wait till I speak to you. That doesn't mean follow what I say blindly. We have so many people getting taken advantage of, following people blindly. This is a relationship.
Yeah, even in a marriage, the priest asked, do you take this person to be your husband? And then they turn around and ask the other person, do you take this person to be your wife?
It's reciprocated.
You both, you have a choice. If they say I do and you say no, you can still say nah, and it's not going to happen.
You should. It's a relationship. I have a mother, a biological mother. If we are driving somewhere and she turned down the other street, my first thing is, where the fuck was you going?
Right.
What are you doing? That's not disrespectful. Now, maybe saying what the fuck, but she speaks to me that way, so we have our language. But when you are with someone that tells you cannot question them, that's a red flag. That is a red flag. Chaz Boo Bear is on here, and bless his heart, I don't always have the time because I'm super, super busy. And we don't always get to chat, but when we do, they're amazing, amazing talks. And I always tell him, write a list of what you want to know. Write a list of what you want to go over. So that way I know to stay focused on it, because we'll get off and start talking about something else. But we're human. You need to be able to say, I'm having a bad day. I can't do this with you. And your mentor not push you. And I've seen so many people where people's like, oh, I don't have the money to do this. And the mentor is like, figure it out. Well, that's not what a mentor does, especially not in a tradition. Okay, let me do some money work for you. Let me
show you how to do some money work. Let
me show you how to do some money work. If you're losing your job, I'm concerned. Because we have a relationship, a friendship. I'm not up here and you're down here. We're here. If we're not here, we ain't got shit.
Yeah, because just because you may know more about something, you may be wiser,
maybe not
in that subject, but you were still here.
Yeah, there's things that Chaz teaches me when I talk to him. I'm like, oh, I didn't know that. But it has to be reciprocated, and that's how you grow. Mm-hmm. That's how your bond gets stronger.
And you think too that you've already been through all this stuff that you're teaching now. And so when he says, I'm just going to use Wicca for an example. If he says, well, if somebody did something to me and that was unjust, can I put them in an apple? And you're like, oh shit, I forgot about that. So by them asking questions, it reminds us of the little things that we may overlook now. Or not just, I say we in general, because I'm not like I was saying earlier, I just started this path, so I can't answer all the questions.
Well, too, though, you've been in a coven before.
Mm-hmm.
So you understand the structure of a tradition.
But that's like, too, the kids will come to me and ask me how to do some homework. And yeah, I graduated high school. I went to college. But fuck if I know how to do third grade math.
This new stuff is different.
But it's that I forgot that stuff. I know it, but I forgot that stuff. Because it's been so long ago. So when you do have students come in, and by them asking questions, it helps both parties grow, because it reminds us of something that we could turn around and use again and then teach them about. So you build off of each other.
It has to be a friendship, you guys. Any type of mentorship that you deal with, it has to be a friendship. There's no pedestals. If you're dealing with ego wants to be put on a pedestal because they need to shine. They need to be up here. When you take the ego out of it, the bottom line is, I want to know if shit turns wrong, who's going to fight in the trenches with me because they want to be there, not because they feel obligated to be there. I don't think anybody wants that. And it is hard to find a mentor, especially nowadays, because this is the fad. Everybody is teaching classes. Everybody is leading everybody. But look at character. Look at character. I see so many people, and sometimes it's so hard for me to bite my tongue. I swear to God, y'all just don't even know. I see some people that are really out there with the names, and everybody's like kneeling. And this person's shit, some of these people's shit be so raggedy. And they don't own it. And I'm like, okay, I'm sitting up here, I'm cursing, I'm talking about fart, and I'm talking about, this is you got to own your stuff. You can't present something to people and then be one way in private. What you see, you can attest to that. What you see with me is what you get. I'd be the one up there with Jazz be up there, mama, TMI. But you need to know. You need to know.
We all fart. It's a natural thing.
You need to know that my
if you don't fart, you'll explode.
Well, you need to know that my patience level is to a certain.
As long as when you fart, you don't mind if I fart back.
Well, it's reciprocated. It's reciprocated. But you need to know who you're dealing with, and sometimes it takes time. And people give off false personas. I've been got. I think everybody has come across somebody where you've been taken advantage of because you are, you're searching.
Yeah.
You're vulnerable when you're searching for that person in that place. It takes some time. What Alice say, I already know you are real. Alice, thank you. Jazz be up there like, mama. But it's one of those things where the pedestal is ego, and I'm gonna be honest. When I first
remember New Orleans though, when somebody's like, "Oh my God, Divinity Diva," and you're like, "What the fuck?"
Oh, that was creeping me out. I don't like that. Please don't run up on me in public and act like I'm something special, you guys, because we can sit down and eat and have some queso and Dr. Pepper, but
chips.
Yeah, but no, I don't like that. And I've seen other high profile workers in New Orleans. We both have that live for that. And that's not,
it's weird. It's freaky.
Yeah. It's ego driven. And we all come across that. When I first started reading, I was ego, and spirit kind of busted my ass a couple of times, and they made me a little bit more humble.
Yeah.
They brought me down. Let's see. No, Hester. Hello, Star. What's going on? Let's see. We're missing questions. Well, tell me it's going to be a minute because with spiritual and voodoo, Hotep, and the rest being current trend, it's hard to find someone. It's been 4 years. No mentor. Angelina, I think a lot of times most people that are real don't want God kids because of the responsibility.
I think, too, that if it's taking time to find a mentor,
use
that time wisely though, and keep studying, keep researching, keep growing. Don't Don't just depend on finding someone else for you to grow. You keep growing in the process. And when what is that?
When the student is ready, the teacher will come. I can attest for that. I will say that.
But keep growing in the meantime. Don't stop don't wait.
So Patricia wants to know, so about people who have natural gifts but can't find a person they can trust. So here's the thing with natural gifts. You don't need a mentor. I think the thing is that you want a mentor because you think that there's something lacking. I didn't have anybody that taught me how to read.
Yeah.
That was, to me, it was practice. It was finding something that was comfortable for me. Not saying that a mentor couldn't come in and take it to that next level, but when
keep studying in the meantime, while you're waiting, because just because we don't think you need a mentor for your gifts, she may, and that's her path. But don't quit. Keep researching, keep studying, keep practicing your gift in the meantime.
A lot of people don't realize your ancestors are your lifeline. And of course, we have not only ancestors that are Aunt Mabel and Cousin Sue, but we have ascended masters. We have older spirits that have walked with us from lifetime to lifetime. A lot of time, that is your first mentor. That's where you go in. I need you to open my gift. I need you to give me clarity. I need you to lead me to the right person. Involve them in that search, and they will literally open up doors for you. I'm not going to say that you're not going to get a couple of Fulios and Fuliettes. I've come across them. It really is hard when you see people that are on, social media with this bigger than life thing, and they're sitting up there, saying all this knowledge, and you're trying to get connected with them. If there's a mentor that is supposed to be for you, there's an instant. It goes like this. It really does. It's like finding the right relationship.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes you click.
Yeah. But everybody is naturally gifted. It's practice. If you want to open up your mediumship, then you practice. You want to open up reading with crystal balls, with pendulums and things like that, you practice.
Mm-hmm. And somebody was saying the gifts you have we're all born with gifts.
Mm-hmm.
They're everyone's gift they already had. It's a matter of developing that gift and practicing that gift. Just like most of us, I won't say all of us, but most of us were born with two legs. Our parent has to guide us and show us how to stand up and show us how to walk and let go of us and tell us to come here. Mm-hmm. But it's all practice.
Yeah, you learn by doing it.
We were all born with it, but you have to practice and develop it.
And I think a lot of times too, especially with the fads and everything going on, everybody kind of gets distracted. Like, maybe I want to do this, maybe I want to do that.
Jumping on a bandwagon.
Yeah, sometimes you have to start with the foundation. You have to start with your ancestors. What is your blood connected to? Doesn't mean you have to follow that path, but you definitely need to know who you are and where you come from before you figure out where the fuck you're going. If not, you're going to have a bunch of people that come in and tell you who you're supposed to be, what path you're supposed to take, and then they're going to charge you for it.
Yeah.
I see it all the time. Oh, somebody told me that I'm supposed to be in Santeria. And I'm like, really? Where do your ancestors come from? And they're like, I don't know. Well, how the fuck do you know that that's your calling? Well, they read the spirit on me. Let me tell you something. The Orisha, the Lawas, certain deities, they don't just come out and tell people who they are. They don't. So all these people that are pulling cards and telling you that they can tell you who your head is and all that other, that's bullshit. It's bullshit. There's ceremonies that have to be done. There are things that spirit has to come in and take possession of your head. Just because a spirit walks with you does not mean that it has possession of your head. I had tons of spirit that walk with me. The spirits that walk with me are not who has my head. So please, y'all, when you got these people that are coming in with these supernatural things, I can tell you this, I can tell you that, I can teach you how to fly. What the fuck are they doing? Some of them are having financial problems. Some of them can't even, dig themselves out of a hole.
Well, that's like that man that was talking about how men are should act and should not act in a relationship. Who's that guy?
Darren Jackson. Oh, the one that cheated on his wife.
The one that just turned around and did everything he's been preaching against.
Lord, and that's how most of the spiritual mentors are out there, full of shit.
Yeah. You have to be very, very careful. And it is hard to tell the fakes from the real thing. But you really have to use your head and your heart.
I think you have to be able to look through bullshit.
Use your head.
Yeah. Everybody's intuitive. You feel people.
And trust your gut.
Yeah. If it don't feel right.
Yeah. If you get that little, yeah, that's probably trying to tell you something.
And that's the same thing for me. There's people that don't click with me. They don't. And that's perfectly cool. We're not a fit. We're not like this. I don't want you with me if you don't click. I'm not going to force a connection with you. People are always like, well, you need more God kids. You need, no, I need exactly what I have until I feel like I want to be drawn to something else.
Yeah.
But you can't force things to me.
Yeah. But, and on that track too, going back to the honor and respect, you've had friends that I just didn't like from the get-go.
True. Absolutely. Yeah.
But I was like, I don't know. I don't even know what it was. It was just something. I just didn't like that person.
Mm-hmm.
But they were your friend. But I can still be your friend, even though I don't like your other friend.
Nothing is ever going to be 100, even if you join a group or society or a house. Just because you join something doesn't mean everybody's going to be kumbaya. There's different personalities and characteristics. The main thing when you're choosing people is that you have to understand, can I fit in with this? Is this going to be beneficial to me? It may not be beneficial to you to have friendships with these people, right? But maybe to me, there's a benefit there.
I don't have to be their friend in order to be your friend.
Absolutely.
I don't have to be a Vodou to be your friend.
Yeah. Let me see, Alice. Tonya, I totally agree with that. How can you teach and can't do anything? My biggest pet peeve is when I see a conjure worker online begging for money.
Mm-hmm.
And I can understand the desperation of a situation. But then
there are hard times. There
are, and I've been there, so I know. But I also know, too, I have gone back to the roots. If you don't believe it, if you don't believe that it can work, how can you make it work? And how can you teach somebody else to do that?
Yeah.
If you really don't believe that a money candle or a money lamp or money work will bring you in finances, how can you teach it to people? It kind of, I guess, maybe goes back to your faith. Do you really believe it?
I don't know. That probably falls, I think, more into ethics. Because if you're teaching something, it's for the money aspect.
Or either
you don't believe it.
Or maybe you have fly-by-night faith. You know, it may work for everybody else but you. I don't know. I don't know, but I'm not fixing to go to somebody for love work or money work or protection work. I'm going to figure this shit out. Now, are there things that are bigger than me? Yes. That's when I bring in my special magic friends, my clique, my soul tribe. Okay, we have a problem. Houston, we have a problem. I got some shit in my house. I don't know what the fuck to do. Maybe let's go in and get some different traditions and figure out how to banish this bitch, because they got to go.
Yeah, because you might do it one way and I might do it another way, and it may take all the ways.
It may be a collective effort. Sometimes you got to think outside the box with shit, but I can guarantee y'all,
we're going to get them from your way and my way, one way or another.
Yeah, but I'm never going to show y'all something that I have not tried, that I don't believe works. Faith is a big thing with magic. If you don't believe that you can be successful with it, you won't. You will not. But if you don't have faith in your own work, there's a problem. There's a problem. We have our moments where we get depressed. We have our moments where financially we struggle. But sometimes that's when you got to dig in deeper. You got to go back to the basics, to the foundation.
To the big girl panties. Pull them out. Put them on.
And sometimes, like I say, you got to pull in extra people. Like, I need some help with that. There's no shame. There's no thing as, shame with being, a person who encounters things that are bigger than them. There are things out there that a lot of us.
And sometimes, too, we need outside people, because there's some things that we get if we're too close to
The change of perception.
we're too biased about it, rather than you did my house blessing.
I did.
So, there's different things that you can do and I can do. I don't read for myself. You don't read for yourself.
True.
So I'll read for you. You'll read for me. Just because they're readers, sometimes we need somebody outside to look at it.
Yeah, you have to
but
be, like
that
I
doesn't mean that we can't take care of our own business.
You should always attempt as a worker. You should always attempt to rectify the situation yourself. That is how you build your strength. That is how you build your foundation. If you don't believe in your own magic, in your own power, what the fuck can you give anybody else?
Right?
You got people out here doing work for people that can't even pay their bills because they can't bring money in. So how can I do work for you and charge you $300 when I can't even figure out how to get $20? You have every right to question that. Every right. A lot of people, I got work from this person, and we got to be honest with work. Sometimes spirit rejects it. Maybe
that's why you do divination first before you do work.
Yeah, because sometimes spirit,
they'll be like, no.
Spirit will come in and be like, no. But I think it's one of those things where you have to have some type of divination to figure out how to do it, how to approach it. Do you need to bring in other people? Because spirit will tell you that. Let's see. Hold up. Trust your reader and whom you choose to do your house blessings is vital. I agree, Renee. I do. Because sometimes, and I've encountered this doing house blessings, sometimes you get spirits that there's opposition. They don't want to either welcome a new family in. Some of them do not want to be cleansed out of the environment. Some of them have darker energies in it that want to fight you. So it's not as simple as picking up some holy water and a Bible and going through somebody's house to do a house blessing. You encounter shit sometimes. I have had headaches coming out of houses. I'm like, oh, what the fuck was that? But it is hard. It really is. But you have to go, your foundation has to be strong. If you're a worker, whether you're working with a mentor or not, whether you're a reader, your foundation has to be strong, and that's up to you.
And you have to believe in yourself. Not only believe in your magic, but believe in yourself that you can do it. And so that starts with self-love, and you need to work on yourself. If you're having problems, if you're a worker, I think, this is my opinion, if you're having financial troubles and you're a worker, then you've got some work on the inside that you need to do so that you can believe in yourself. So you have to believe in yourself before you can believe in the work. And if you don't believe in yourself, of course your work's not gonna.
Well, too, like you say, you gotta look at yourself. Where are the blocks? You may be the block.
Yeah. If you don't believe in yourself, how the fuck can you believe in what you do?
Yeah. I think we've all been there, and not really preaching, you guys. I hope you're not thinking that we're preaching at you or whatever, because we're sharing, honestly, because I've been in situations where my money work was not successful because I wasn't consistent, or I got depressed and it wasn't coming in as fast as I wanted. So I kind of was like,
you started doubting yourself.
I started doubting myself, and I didn't put the effort into. But I don't think I've ever given up. And I think that's probably the thing. It's like, okay, I have this moment. It's not working. Spirit, give me some clarity. Let me go back in and try it again until I get something that is tangible, But we all deal with it. I mean, the last few years for a lot of people have been very depressive. We've had a lot of people in the spiritual community that have been outed out as frauds. And a lot of people have lost money. Some people found out last year that they weren't even initiated and they had been in houses for years. I mean, it was a lot. So we're constantly tested in this journey. Like you said, it's not easy.
Tests help us grow.
That's where you get your strength from.
You can't graduate unless you take a test.
Shit, I don't think you ever graduate, Lynna. I don't even think
you ever. Like, even in high school, you can't graduate
I get
without
what you're
taking
saying,
a test.
but it never stops. Just when you think you learn something, and I am not the master of anything.
Forever a student.
Always learning. Yeah. Spirit will come in and be like, look, you thought you knew it. You got some more to learn.
Right.
And I'd be like, God damn you, spirit. Y'all, I'd be on my altar fussing with them. We'd be going head to head. Like, are you fucking kidding me?
What you mean you don't like that rum?
Yeah. You know what? You're not making that money come through for what? Oh my God. We have had some down out, knockout, drag out fights. We have. That's a whole nother thing too. When you are dealing with your spirits, that is a relationship too. You are not putting them on a pedestal where you are worshiping them. You have some deities that definitely want to be worshiped, but you lose power when you allocate too much.
When you worship, when you honor, but
you honor, but you don't bow down.
You don't worship, you honor.
Yeah, I agree. Because I've seen people that literally, whatever the spirit wants, they stop working for you. Because then they know you're going to give them whatever they want. So what I do is I'm like, okay, especially with Freda. Freda is prissy and she likes expensive things. So I'm like, Freda, and you got to be pretty and smell good when you go to her. It's like, look, I want this. I need this. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to give you a small bottle of Pompeia because I want you to know that in good faith, I'm offering you something for the work you're about to do for me. But when you make this work come through, I'm going to have money to get the big bottle of Pompeia. What do you think she do? She's like, I don't want this little bitty bottle. I want the big bottle. So she makes the money come through. She works the work. But it's a relationship. It's a relationship. You have to be careful. So many people want to know why their spirits don't work for them. They don't work for you. It's a relationship. But a lot of times when you put them on pedestals and you give them everything they want, what is the incentive?
It's like I got teenage kids. If I give them everything they want, they're never gonna fucking clean their room.
You have to you have to understand how to
spare the rod, spoil the child.
Yeah, it's a respect thing. It is a respect thing.
And if you worship them and are constantly giving to them, they're going to expect you to keep giving when they're not doing anything.
Oh Lord, yes.
And then if you stop, they'll smite your ass.
Yeah, Freda was ridiculous. I'd be in the store and she's like, I want this, I want that. I'd be like, look, this bank account, this debit card is telling me we can't do this. So I'm sorry, I have to leave that pink waterfall on the counter because I don't have $75 to get it. Somewhere within that month, $75 is in that bank account. And then I have to go do it.
Right.
Because she made the money come. But you definitely have to be, you have to be in a place where you are reciprocating your relationship with your spirits. Don't just let them pull you along any kind of way. It should be something where you're doing something for them, they're doing something for you. Let's see.
Yeah, Alice, I think if you're able to talk to your elders, that's where you're going to get the best learning from. Listen to them. They're not crazy.
They talk, yeah.
Sometimes they say things and we may think, what they're talking about. But really listen to their stories because they're teaching you. They're teaching you. Somebody else said something about not knowing any of their ancestors beyond your great-grandparents. It's okay. Yeah. You can call in ancestors known and unknown.
Yeah. There's so many that come back, like I said, that don't even walk in this lifetime. They walked in past lifetimes and they crossed over barriers. So you won't know them. You have ascended masters that are ancestors. A lot of people immediately assume family. Let me tell you, when you have family that dies, they don't immediately get elevated on the other side, which means, let's take, for example, my mom. My mom is something else. She ain't in her right mind right now. So that means that when she crosses over her transformation, she's not going to be in her right mind to help me. I have to elevate her and lift her up so that she can evolve on the other side. So when you are talking about ancestors and you know that you have a father that is abusive, when he dies, he doesn't become an angel. He doesn't, that doesn't change because people cross over. Some people never change. They don't want to change their energy. So what you do is, if you choose to elevate, you don't have to. I don't have to give my mom an altar. She's a little piece of a work. She's chaotic. She's hard to control. If I was going to use my mom on my ancestor altar when she cried, and she hates when I talk about her on the ancestor altar because she's still living. You always put me on that goddamn altar, waiting for me to die. But I always ask people if I can put them on the altar, or if they want to be on an altar before. I feel like that should be their choice. But my mom is very chaotic right now. When she transitions, she will be very chaotic. She will not be somebody that I would use to for work that I need to make sure has to be flow through in a certain way, because that's not her energy. Now, if I wanted her to beat a bitch down, I could use her energy for that, because she's very fiercely protective of me, but she is fucked out of her mind. So I could use her for revenge work. I could send her out if she chooses, but all I got to do is say, "Mama, they fucking with me," and she would do it. But you have to understand that when you're working with your ancestors, you have free will. You don't have to elevate and honor people you don't want. If they were not kind to you in this lifetime, you don't have to put them on your altar.
Hand me that box.
You got?
Yeah.
You're going to put, did you think I was going to?
I didn't know.
Because I talk with my hands over here. So, would Jasmine say, oh yeah, because Jasmine knows Nana. So you have to understand, when you're working with your ancestors, there's certain ones that are, they're better for certain works than they are with other works.
And they're not always going to get along with everybody.
Oh yeah, my mom wouldn't be able, she would have to have her own altar. I wouldn't be able to put her up there with everybody else, because she would probably, oh my God, it'd be chaos.
Oh yeah, my mom's the same way. Always talking shit about somebody. They would probably knock her off.
Yeah.
They wouldn't want her on their altar.
They might do my mom the same way too. I always tell her she has to have a different altar, because I know she's going to be chaotic. So Stacy, I mentioned ascended masters, and so ascended masters are spirits that have walked with you, that have evolved. They have reached a level of evolution that they can help you. There are certain ancestors that have power to move things in your life that you may not even know who these people are. You may not even know who their names are, but they have elevated over the centuries, over decades, so these are people, ascended masters are people who have mastered the evolution. So if, say, Cousin Sue dies tomorrow, she's not an ascended master because she hasn't evolved. She hasn't gone through her transitions on the other side. But you may have an ascended master who could be Jesus. You could have Malcolm X. You could have, a deity that actually decides to walk with you, that has ascended. So when we talk about ancestors, a lot of us are looking at people that are here. Lynna is a friend. If Lynna passed away before me, I'd put her on my ancestor altar, because she's important to me in life. An ancestor doesn't have to be blood. She could be through adoption. Lynna would be my adoption.
Oh, and pets too.
Yoda is on my ancestor altar. But we have spirits that have walked with us for thousands of years that we don't know their name, but we can call on them when we elevate, when we honor our ancestors. You can even call on the ascended masters. For the ascended masters that work with me, that walk with me, I honor you. I offer you. And you make offerings. You light a candle for them. But please understand that when it comes to people that just have crossed over, they're not ready. They're not ready to come in and be what you need them to be. They're still trying to figure out where they're at, who they are.
Kind of like shock.
It's shock. It is. And if you have people that are chaotic in life, it does not mean that they are going to get right when they cross on the other side. Chaos does cross over.
Yeah, you would never put Chester the molester on the altar.
No,
I wouldn't.
If you know that Chester is a molester, you probably wouldn't, because you don't want to elevate him. but some people might want to heal them on the other side.
Mm.
If you do have an ancestor that is a pedophile or a rapist or a murderer, you literally can put an altar up for them, but it would be a healing ancestor altar because you're trying to heal the trauma that they experienced so that if they come back, they may not have to repeat that. And it depends on if you believe in reincarnation. The ones that died suddenly, babe, they're still confused. It takes almost a year sometimes for a person, and that's from what I read. I would say with my grandmother, it took maybe.
Well, Yoda was around.
Yoda is still there, and it's because I don't think he wants to leave. But I think for my grandmother, it probably took about a year before she started coming.
So even in the afterlife, we have our own path, our own timeline.
Mm-hmm.
So it all kind of circles back around to the same thing.
Yeah, it does. I mean, if you have an ancestor that is elevated, is spiritual, like I think if I died today, you could put me on the altar and I could actually do some work because I've evolved some in this lifetime. Am I ascended master? No. I would not be.
But and it's how close you are to that person too.
Yeah.
How strong the bond
Jazz
is.
could put me on her ancestor altar as Mambo Mama, and I will fuck shit up for her left and right. I will open doors for her. I will move her money. I will do everything I can. So you have to understand the people that you're putting on your altar. And sometimes I ask. I really do. I ask some people, do you mind? Because I know that they're powerful and I know that they've evolved. But it depends. It depends. Jazz, I got your back, baby. I told you I'm going to leave you some blood and some ashes and some hair. All you got to do is call on me. I'm going to figure out a way to come back.
I don't think you'll ever leave either.
You don't think I would leave? Mm-mm. Shit, girl, I'm tired. I think I'm out of here. I think I'm out of here. Look, I'm going to be, where the fuck? Where am I going? I might stick around and kiss some grandkids a little bit, but shit, I think I'm ready. You send me on. Where the fuck is the white light?
Right. Where's that tunnel I heard about?
Shoot, tunnel, white light, whatever the fuck I'm supposed to go through. I'm planning on going through it. Hopefully Yoda will be on the other side waiting for me. If I see Yoda, I'm gone.
Yeah. I'm
gone. Me and Yoda going to run. We're going to run in some grass or whatever the fuck is on the other side. I'll come back and let y'all know.
So, next week, what do you want to talk about next week?
Next week, let's talk about businesses as a spiritual worker. We have a lot of people on here that are business owners, entrepreneurs. We have a lot of people on here that are starting their journey. For a lot, some people had trial and error. I know I did.
Mm-hmm.
What works, what doesn't work. How do you get more clients? It's a lot. It really is a lot. And a lot of people, I think, need that help. Because there's taxes. We got people that don't pay taxes. Uncle Sam.
Oh, yeah. And unethical businesses,
oh,
too.
My God, yeah. I've dealt with the IRS, and it wasn't for me not paying taxes. It was my ex-husband. They come back and fuck your shit up. You got to pay your shit. You especially when you're a worker, because people will turn you in, especially people that are trying to...
Next week.
Okay. Because I'm putting too much into it because it would be a lot. I got triggered for a minute. Okay, running a daycare. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be next week. So y'all make sure you subscribe and click the little bell so you get notifications of when we go live. And be ready. What was it you were saying? Write down your questions so that when we come back next week, you got it all right there.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. I guess we're going to go ahead and call it a day. You have a long drive. That's not wine, by the way. She's not drinking and driving.
No, cranberry juice because I got, an hour?
Hour and a half. It's about 80 miles.
An hour and a half drive.
Yeah, you say, Houston, we have a problem. The problem is I live on the south side. You live on the north side.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but it'll be a good ride. So, it's a pretty day.
But glad to see you guys. Y'all come back next week, and we'll talk to you guys later. Bye.
Bye.